This is Trust the Prophet's 10-minute rundown. Here's your hosts, El Hombre and The Formula.
Hello, welcome to Trust the Prophets. Just a couple days after the Kentucky Derby. It is May 3rd, 2021. I'm The Formula, joined as always by El Hombre. How's it going over there?
Pretty good, just recovering from the hangover from the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, that Saturday, it's quite a Saturday. It starts off so early. The spaces in between the races, they feel like they last forever, especially that space between race 11 and race 12. Goes on for like an hour. But anyway, we're not talking about time. We're talking about horses here. And in particular, the Kentucky Derby itself. So if I breeze through here and talk about the payouts, talk about who won, the big shocker, at least to some people, Bob Baffert's only horse, Medina Spirit, Johnny Velasquez, was the winner, a 12-1 shot. You don't usually see a Baffert horse with that long of odds winning the Kentucky Derby, but you see Baffert winning the Derby. The big surprise there was a horse that finished first, often finished second in his Derby prep races to bigger horses like Life is Good, but got the job done there, wire to wire. In second place, Mandaloun with Duro and the mount, Hot Rod Charlie with Flavian Pratt on the mount. Those are your 1, 2, and 3. Fourth place, Essential Quality, and got to throw Essential Quality in there because he was closing in that last quarter of a mile. Thought if he had maybe 100 more yards, would have caught up to the top three and probably won the race, but didn't have that space. The finish line got to him a little too quickly. Yep. In terms of payouts, Medina Spirit 26.20. Mandaloun, if you're buying the place on Mandaloun, that's a $23 payout. Hot Rod Charlie, $5.20. And if you're going to talk about some exactas and trifectas, the exacta paid out on a $2 bet, $503. So you get to divide that by 2 on a $1. The trifecta, $848. So there were prices to be had at this race. Big payouts.
That's the thing about the Derby, that nobody was shocked about those top four. I mean, I was pretty shocked about Medina Spirit. Once I saw him go to the front, I was a little nervous because I didn't have him anywhere.
Yeah.
But those four pretty predictably in everybody's top 10 anyway. Not necessarily a shocking development, but
there weren't many tosses in that category, right?
I tossed Medina Spirit. I'll openly admit
Let's get to that.
I will eat crow instantly on that deal.
I've got crow on Mandaloun. I tossed Mandaloun out. So, and I was colder on Hot Rod Charlie than you were. So I only bought into one of the horses.
I saw the way that race was panning out about halfway through, and Essential Quality got the exact trip he wanted. I felt like Hot Rod Charlie was in the right spot. Everybody was in the right. Hot Rod Charlie should have or needed to get to the front quicker.
Yeah.
Because first of all, Medina Spirit's never lost a lead. He's undefeated when he gets to the front instantly, which he did, and that was a concern, obviously.
Got that nose of fresh air, right?
Yeah. He's never been passed. And we've heard everybody who's been studying this stuff knows he's never been passed.
Yeah.
My thing was he's never been passed, but he's also never seen horses like he saw in that race. Mainly Essential Quality, but I thought Essential Quality was lined up perfectly at the top of the stretch, and I thought he might close in there. And Hot Rod Charlie was in the right spot. Mandaloun actually looked the most, as they came down the stretch, looked like he might even, at some point, he looked like he was going to close on him too.
Yeah.
They all four were closing in on each other, and it was a good race. Medina Spirit, he broke my heart. It reminded me exactly of
Freaky, right?
Tis the Law and Authentic going on the stretch last year.
Freaky. Except it was 3 horses. They didn't have the space between them and everyone else, right? Because you knew it was one of those two horses.
Those top 2 last year checked out, yeah.
Right. But at the same time, it was the same thing where you've got a Baffert horse that wasn't the number 1. He was like the number 5 to 10 range, right? I forgot where Authentic fell. Maybe he was like the number 4 horse that year.
Yeah, we had Authentic a little higher, but we did not think it was a head-to-head battle last year that he would outrun Tis the Law, and he held him off.
We didn't predict that, no.
This year, the same thing. I saw EQ going to the outside exactly. He was in a good stalking position the whole race.
Yeah,
at the top of the stretch, he moved out, and I was like, either Hot Rod Charlie or EQ is going to run him down.
Yeah.
And there he goes. Mandaloun gave him the biggest challenge, and I don't know. Medina Spirit looked better than ever, mysteriously again. I'm in no position to accuse anybody. I've seen a lot of the drug accusations. Everybody wants to throw Baffert under the bus because let's be honest, he's got some controversy around him. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not going to make any factual or tell anybody any lies about this guy's a cheater, this and
Drinking
that.
from the same well as Gamine, I don't know.
There's so many. I mean,
so many.
And rightfully so that he should be questioned on it with his history. But at the same time, who am I to make that accusation? If I was factual about that, then why wouldn't I just bet Medina Spirit to be a factual
that's a great
juice
point.
Horse that should have been bet? And that's
a great point. Yeah, and it's interesting. I've seen this posed on Twitter. That same question. Bob Baffert brings it unto himself because of what he's done in the past, period. Absolutely, 100%. And it goes back to that comment of you got to clean up racing, you got to clean up all the extracurriculars before you can stop questioning it, right? Anyone who questions it is totally within their right to even bring up that doubt, 100%. On the other hand, though, if it doesn't come out that he was tested and he didn't come up positive, it's a win. I can understand everything behind Medina Spirit. The jockey, the trainer combo were there. The favorable draw, if you buy into draws and post position, which I'll get into that in a moment. His speed that he was racing at in all the prep races. Who he lost to 2 horses. Life is Good, who I thought was the best horse going into this before he got nixed, and Rock Your World, who ran, I think, the second highest speed figure going into the finals here.
And by the way, Rock Your World tripped out of the gate and had the worst.
Yeah.
Everything. His race was over in the first 50 yards.
Yeah.
Which, shout out to Racing Dudes. Those guys put a preliminary race.
Yes.
They put out a preliminary race evaluation on the post positions, and they ripped Rock Your World out of their considerations at that. And I didn't. And the same thing could be said for Known Agenda. We can get into that. But at the same time, his race was over instantly. A speed horse that needs to be on the front instantly. It was done for him. Rock Your World had no shot.
He lost it in the first second.
Yeah, if he breaks perfect and gets to the front, I don't think we're talking about. Yeah, so again, as much fun as it would be for me to sit here and bash Baffert and call him a cheater and call Medina Spirit a juice monster and just have a lot of fun with that, which I'd love to do. It's not fair for me to do that. I mean, it just isn't.
Yeah. But let's go back to what you said about Racing Dudes. I do want to give them 100% credit because I rewatched their show, right? Great show, by the way. Love what you guys do. And they were calling it, and they mentioned the 3 horses we were just talking about as having the best position in the race, right? It was almost like they were calling that ahead of time. You could have laid down a pretty sweet trifecta if you listened to that show and bet accordingly. They also knocked out Known Agenda for drawing the post. Now listen, I am still not 100% sold on positioning being that high of a factor, and I'm not sold on post 1 as being that much of a negative. But I will say none of my theories were proven right with the sample that we saw this past Saturday, but they completely had backed up what the Racing Dudes said. So I got to give them credit for that.
Yep, 100%. And then for Known Agenda also, I mean, it was over before it started for him too. A lot of my horses, but I will tell you,
didn't handle it well.
The 2 horses I was heaviest on were Hot Rod Charlie and Essential Quality.
Yeah.
And they were right where they needed to be at the top of the stretch, and I really was. I mean, if you rewind that thing 30 seconds before the end of that thing, I was feeling pretty good about it. I really did. I really thought that Medina Spirit, as fast as he's been, and we were high on him. If you guys want to fact check back to 3 months ago when he was winning the early prep races, we were really high on Medina Spirit. So it's not like we've been crapping all over this horse.
Yeah.
But the horse has been a top 5 to, I think at some point he was number 2 for us, behind Life is Good and maybe Essential Quality. for number
I think
3.
in my
rather.
final numbers, I had him at 7 or 6, something like that. I mean, I had him up.
But
there.
at one point, he was right behind Essential Quality and Life is Good when Life is Good was still in the mix. And
right.
I'm positive he was my number 3 at some point. So it's not like we were crapping all over this horse and saying he had no shot. But at the same time, we
didn't see the wins against the big ones, right?
And maybe we should have woke up on that post position draw. It was perfect for him.
Yeah.
And but it also was for Hot Rod Charlie, who I was slightly higher on.
Oh yeah.
So that race worked out exactly. The sick part is openly admit when we're wrong.
Yeah.
That race went exactly as planned, from my perspective, as far as HRC and Essential Quality went. And they didn't get it done. And I don't know whether there was in the comments. In the comments, we'd appreciate it if you guys mention why post position is so important, because I'm an idiot with that. I'll be honest with you, and I know the formula is too, because we've been fighting back and forth on this for
You're
weeks now.
You're less of an idiot on this than I am. I'm stubborn on this. I
don't think it's
a mule.
I don't think it's not as much ignorant as it is just prove it to me, because a great horse, like I remember Big Brown 20 years ago in the early 2000s, he was out of a 20 hole and everybody's like, oh, he's dead. 20 hole. Big Brown was by far the best horse that year. He overcame it.
Yep.
It can be overcome, but if you have a questionable shot like Rock Your World or Known Agenda, who, I think was everybody's probably at least top 5 choice, maybe in some cases top 2 or 3 choice, it can kill their hopes. So we're open-minded to that, and put that in the comments. Maybe we'll learn something from you guys. We're not the smartest, human beings on the planet. Tell us.
We're the smartest guys in the room, but not everyone's in the room.
For sure. Us. Exactly. We're the smartest guys in our room independently, for sure.
Right. There's no one else in the room with me right now. Spoiler alert. Yeah, one other thing I was going to say. I completely lost track of that, though. So anyway, moving on.
We can edit that. What else we got?
We got Preakness coming up. Oh, well, I know what we were going to say. So in terms of the Derby, there were 14 races that day. Obviously, we got that one wrong, but I know you were following how our picks were going. We hit a pick 5. I think we hit like 4 exactas. We hit a number of wins. So all in all, it was still a pretty decent day for the Profits on a pretty tough slate. And I know the week up to that, we had one of our best weeks in I don't know, that I can remember. I mean, we seemed to be unstoppable at that Churchill Downs Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, leading up to
100%. Yeah. We had a great meet going. We had a great card. Let's be honest. Depending on how hard you pushed on the Derby itself, which for me was way too hard because it killed. I mean, I had a mutual fund going with friends. We had a lot going on. We hit the middle pick 5, race. I think it was like 3 to 7 or whatever it was. That middle pick 5, we hit that.
Yeah, 3 to 8. Yep.
Nice hit.
4 to 8.
Had a lot of good, cute hits along the way, and it was like leading up to the Derby. And of course, when you're in a mutual fund where everybody basically put in like $50, $100, and it's like $1,000, $1,200 total pool. Everybody's like, let's go all in because it's only $50 each. So it's not a huge loss if you blow it all. But, I'm running this fund and I put it all in on, the 2 or 3 horses that I was on all year.
Yeah.
And Medina Spirit broke me. It broke my heart. That also, by the way, we did go 6 deep on exotics, full disclosure, and Medina Spirit wasn't in those either. So it broke up all of that.
That was heartbreaking because he was on the edge too. If you look at where we had
right on the fringe.
Right on the fringe, we had 3 horses in our 5th position, and we knew that was a high risk race. We had our confidence level set at high risk, so we normally go deep. But when we picked that 5th one or 6th one, right, it could have been any one of those 3 horses lumped in there.
And by the way, it'd be easy for us to post a ticket and say, oh, we're a big winner of the pick 5 if you go 8 deep here and have an $800 pick 5 ticket. We're not going to do that. We don't think that the reasonable standard everyday gambler is going to afford a $800 pick 5. So we try to do our best to balance out, a normal person's budget that wants to spend $50 to $200 on a pick 5.
Right.
We did our best with that, and we got crushed by Medina Spirit. So thanks to the white-haired wizard, and I don't know what else to say, man. It sucked. Believe me, I was pissed for 3 hours.
So let's look ahead to Preakness, which is coming up in, what, a month or so? It's coming right around the corner here.
Couple weeks.
Couple weeks in Pimlico.
What is the date on it? Just to double check it, because it's I think it's 2 weeks.
May 15th. You're right. It is 2 weeks away. So we got Preakness coming up. Who's racing in that? We've got 2 Baffert horses. These are all probable at this point. Medina Spirit, Concert Tour. We got 3 Cox horses, Essential Quality, Mandaloun, Cotto River as of right now. Got Crowded Trade from Chad Brown. We've got Midnight Bourbon, Rombauer, King Fury, whole bunch of horses that you've heard of. What do you think is going to go on here? It's a mile and 3/16. It's going to be different than the Derby. It's probably not going to be as crowded. You think this is the one where Essential Quality actually gets it done on a big level, or you think Medina Spirit can get the second leg of the Triple Crown here?
Honestly, it's too early to even talk about it. I want to have an opinion, and at this point, just based on the last 2 years, why not just bet Baffert? Don't even read a book. Just bet on Baffert every time, which is basically like any half-assed player that throws $100 down that has seen any kind of coverage on the, because everybody just covers Baffert.
Yeah.
Just bet Baffert. I mean, just don't even try to instill any.
Don't overthink it.
I don't know, but I didn't think Medina Spirit was going to win the Derby.
Right.
I don't think he's going to win the Triple Crown, but hey, put your money on it, guys.
That's why it's gambling. That's horse racing. Yep.
That broke my spirit for the second year in a row. Authentic did it to me last year. Still don't think he was the best horse last year either, but
yeah. Do you think Concert Tour will come back and look like what people thought he would? Prefacing that by saying I never really liked Concert Tour that much in the first place. We had him in our top 5, but it was begrudgingly on my part. I never felt like I saw him run a great race.
No, but I think he'll make a hell of a teammate for Medina Spirit to try to get the second leg of the Triple Crown done.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Think he'll become the enforcer.
I think there could be, yeah.
The Bob Probert to a Steve Eiserman.
There you go. Probert going out there and just going out and wailing on Wayne Gretzky's face because he might score a goal on you. That type of deal. Maybe, I don't know.
I do like Essential Quality in this one. I keep thinking, don't let my recency bias and Essential Quality get in a 4th place. He looked great in the Derby. This will be a different race. Probably fewer bodies in the way.
Yeah, that's a great point. The 19 horse field, I mean, it's pretty bad to see that they work their whole lives and their value is based for the rest of their lives as racehorses and
1 of 20.
And it's all based on a race that is so thick and deep that, I mean, it can be over and it's not even their fault sometimes. Like Rock Your World, that thing was over before it started, not even necessarily his fault. It was a mosh pit.
Yeah.
It doesn't, I mean, that's just the way things break, but the same thing could be said in any sport. I mean,
right.
Maybe if Drew Bledsoe didn't get his knee broken, hammered, and Tom Brady comes into that Super Bowl 20 years ago, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I mean, Bledsoe was a better quarterback than Tom Brady at that time. You can question that.
He was drafted first overall for a reason. He had a successful career, multiple Super Bowl
Tom Brady's the GOAT now, so I think things might have went a little different if Bledsoe doesn't get hurt there, but I'm just saying.
Indeed. All right, so let's wrap this up. I think we know that this weekend, for those of you who are interested, we're going to be covering Belmont in our picks. We've already gone through free picks for Indiana on Wednesday, so take a look out for those. And we're going to be putting together our schedule coming up early this week. Pretty soon we're going to know what we're going to be doing. Yeah, thank you all for listening. Don't forget to hit subscribe somewhere around here. Thank you guys for hitting us up, especially during the Derby. We notice you guys viewing. We love your activity out there. Keep the comments coming. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, peace out.